Hello and welcome to our special broadcast. I'm Parikshit Luthra. India's green drive just got turbocharged. The GST cuts from the government have now taken effect, and there is a clear message to companies and the consumer. Electric vehicles will be taxed at 5%, small cars at 18%, and mid-sized cars and SUVs will be taxed at 40%. There is no special tax rate for hybrid vehicles. They will be taxed alongside ICE and alternate fuel vehicles, either at 18% or at 40%. The 5% rate will only be for EVs. With this, the government has signalled its intention very clearly, giving a much-needed fillip to EV makers. Electric vehicle penetration is increasing in India from 1/5 of total car sales in 2020 being electric to 2/5 in 2024 being electric. Will EV sales take off after the GST cuts? And do these reforms provide enough policy clarity to India's electric vehicle makers? Does this decision also end the debate on whether government should offer financial incentives to hybrid vehicles similar to EVs or not? To take this discussion forward, we're now joined by Chetan Maini, co-founder and chairman at Sun Mobility. Mr. Maini, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let me begin by asking you, do you think this GST reduction somehow puts the lid on the discussions, the debate within the industry on whether government should only be giving financial incentives for electric mobility, or should hybrids also get similar incentives?
You know, as a country that's growing the way we are, reduction in emissions is important, but elimination of emissions and reduction of our complete elimination of fossil fuels is much more critical. So I think government's message is very clear that in electrics it achieves both. So we actually keep that at 5%, and all of the vehicle platforms, fill at 18 to 40. That itself is a big drop. A lot of smaller vehicles are at 18, and so there's a big change of 10% for the industry. And I think that'll boom, that'll really give a good boom to the entire community. But at the same time, the intentions are very clear that electrics are most beneficial and therefore should have that continued differentiation of 5%.
Right. What I would also like to ask you is that with this current tax rate, do you feel that it will be financially attractive for a customer to buy a small EV compared to an ICE vehicle or a hybrid vehicle?
Well, actually, the differential is reduced by 10%, right? So I think in the short term, there will be, a higher level of sales probably of ICE engine vehicles and hybrid vehicles than there would be of electric. I think electric will continue to grow, but the overall market size will also grow with the GST reform. So it won't have a negative impact, but probably from a market share point of view, in the short term, electrics may not have that sort of growth rate that it's seen in the last, 24 months.
Right. But do you feel that more policy clarity is needed? Especially you've got state governments who are incentivizing hybrid vehicles on similar lines as they do for electric vehicles. The centre is very clear that when it comes to financial push, we will support only electric. Rest of the technologies, we are technology agnostic, but the tax rate and the policy framework for them remains the same.
I think the central government has taken the right decision. It's the right way to move forward. And, hopefully over a period of time, the states follow that construct as we looked at, and that would keep more uniformity across the country on policy front of it. However, as you mentioned, there is a bit of a, challenge around on the GST implementation, right? Now that regular vehicles have come to 18%, one of the key issues is that, batteries continue to be taxed at 18% in the country, right? Which means that the working capital that's stuck up is pretty large for a regular automotive company. When you think of businesses like battery swapping, then that is 18% additional capital actually you need to put in. So in a way, that's really impacting the industry a lot. And I think coupled with that is a person who's probably using a swapping or charging service is today charged at 18%. Now that's similar to an ICE vehicle when really everything else is at 5%. So this anomaly and inverted duty structure related to batteries coming in, which need to move from 18 to 5, can give that boost to electric mobility. And charging and services of charging and swapping coming back to 5% will also give the necessary boost today we need in the country. Great policies coming out related to infra, But if infra is being put in and it's being taxed at 18%, the same as ICE, that's going to deter consumer adoption. So I think it's in the right direction. This inverted structure needs to be fixed, but.
That's an important point. So could you give us a sense of how the GST changes impact battery as a service, such as what Sun Mobility is offering? How does it affect battery swapping as a service? And also the prices of batteries. If one goes to purchase an electric battery in the market, what are the changes with regard to the GST rate?
So if you purchase a battery or sell a battery, it's 18%. But when it goes into the vehicle is at 5%. And so there's an inverted duty structure, which, an OEM may get refund, and it takes some time. So the capital is stuck up, right? But eventually it's at 5%. But if you're in a battery swapping business or battery as a service business, then the battery is separate from the vehicle, which means the tax remains at 18%, right? And this sort of causes a huge challenge where you're stuck up with 13% more investment on this front. So that is the big thing on battery as a service. Then when the customer goes to get a swap, they'll pay 18%. So they pay, 40 to 50 rupees for a swap, they would pay 18% extra, but typically at a vehicle level, that's 5. So we have 13% extra taxation for a consumer who's really a gig worker or, someone who's doing deliveries or taking people around. And that's not the community today. We need to encourage this electric mobility and not have this huge challenge around there. So it's become
one final question.
Sure.
Right. One final question, if I may put to you, and that would be about increasing EV sales. If we have to meet our electric vehicle goals, achieve 30% electrification by 2030, what more do we need to do? What are the areas where we need to speed up things?
So I would say it's keep 4 areas. One, we talked about the GST, very critical to keep that normal. I think second is we need to get more financing available and easier. That's still a challenge for consumers who want to ship, where financing still continues to be an issue. The third is infrastructure that has to come in at speed that allows consumers to feel, yes, I'm not going to be stranded, be it swapping or charging. Right. And government's new policy that's come out as part of the PM overall level of putting in infra, hopefully fructifies in the next few weeks. And then this all helps that area that we look at. And the last is that the PLI that exists today, can it be extended to a wider group, more OEMs and tier ones, so that this cost benefit can come down to the end customer and can further accelerate research and development and manufacturing in the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Chetan Maini, for joining us on the program, giving us your view on electric mobility and what the government needs to do more in the next 5 to 10 years. We're taking a short break here on CNBC TV 18 and our series Charging Up India's EV Journey. But don't go anywhere. We continue discussing India's green drive in conversation with Electra Green Tech's Mahesh Babu and industry expert Arun Kumar Malhotra.